Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. How's everyone today? Hope you're well. Just let me close this down. Razor Gamer 123, how are you, buddy? Brandon Wallace, how are you? Are you well? Sorry, I've just had a quick bite to eat. Just at this quirky hotel, but it's actually really nice, even though it's a bit quirky. Hi, Mark Stave. How are you, mate? Abhishek. Hi, mate. So good to see you again. Yeah, sorry. Put the I put the new podcast, so I hope that you've all had a chance to go and listen to it. And thank you for those who've commented below the video. It's been really positive so far, which is fantastic. How's your day been? It's been busy. It's been really busy. So I am on the hotel's Wi-Fi, which it's all right, but it's not like it is when I'm at home. So you might get the odd little pause or freeze somewhere like that. So yeah, the day's been busy. It's boiling here, absolutely boiling. I'm sweating cobs. So yeah, been a productive day. I've got another day tomorrow, and then I'm flying back on Friday back to the UK. Hi, Dwayne Nichols. How are you, buddy? Matt David, I believe Foden can start for Man City next season if he goes on loan this season. He's got bags of potential, something we're going to chat about. Has Manchester City signed a replacement for Vincent Kompany? Not yet. Not yet, we haven't. But we know certainly that Walker signed his extension today. That keeps him here till 2024. And I think I posted that this morning on Twitter. Philip, don't even go there. I don't know any German. I'll be honest with you. My language skills are terrible considering the actual job that I do. But Razor Gamer, 5 years. 5 years? What do you mean? Was that Walker's 5 years on there? So, what do you think of the signing of Rodri? Not over the line, but it looks like it's going to be. So I think it's an excellent signing. Done loads of videos on Rodri and everything. Go back and look at the video that we did on the channel, not last week, the week before, all about Rodri. So I think it'll be a wonderful signing. He looks an excellent prospect, absolutely superb. Abdallah Alamami says, we need a centre-back to play alongside Laporte like Koulibaly. Can't see that happening. Manolas, he's gone. So I think that looks like Napoli are signing him for around about 35 million euro. Koulibaly, the rumours are 95 million euros. Can't see City going anywhere near that, if I'm honest with you. No chance. If they're sniffing at an English centre-back like Maguire, why would they go and sniffing at the fact that Leicester want 80, 90 million quid and City are basically going no chance? Why would we then go up to stop 95 million euro for the likes of Koulibaly? I just can't see it happening. I really can't. I'll be honest with you. Who knows? It could happen, but I'd be very surprised if it does, mate. I really would. Martin Abid, what's the latest on Joao Felix? Still, well, there was the rumours. There were the rumours that potentially he was supposedly have signed an agreement with Atletico Madrid and was having a medical, allegedly. Now, until I see the newspapers, Marca and everything else basically saying that he signed the contract, and I haven't seen anything. If anyone's got any further news that's just come out or something like that, please let me know. But I haven't seen anything to say that it's definitely confirmed. These are just rumours that apparently he is in talks and agreed a contract and he's having a medical. So we'll wait and see on that one. Albert Day, hey Andy, I think he should be used to sub David Silva for a smooth transition and own that role in 2021 season. Yeah, I'm sort of with you, mate, I must admit. But it's been since his goal last night for the under-21s, and what a great finish it was, then all that, it's just typical all day, what I've heard and read. And should Phil Foden go on loan. And the general consensus across what I've listened to and what I've heard and what I've read is he should really go out on loan because he's not really going to get much more game time than he got this season, and we're wasting his development. So I just thought I'd ask the question because what do City fans think? What do you guys think as City fans? Do you think Foden should hang around and train? And how many games do you think he's going to potentially get next season? Do you think he's going to get more games than this season? Who's he going to come in for? Who's going to get less game time? I'm just so I thought I'd put it up there and see what your thoughts are on Phil Foden. What else we got? It's good evening, sir. Thank you, Philip. It's interesting because one of the girls who is in the training centre here, she goes past the hotel, so she gave a few of us a lift back. She's Italian from Rome, and I got in a car, and she lives here. She's based in Harm, and so I'm sat in the front, and what is on the window where the old tats disc used to go? A Man City badge. And I'm like, are you a Man City fan? And she was like, no. She said, but you like football, don't you? So I said, yeah. I'm a massive Man City fan. I said, what's that doing in your car? And she said it was an English bloke called John Wild. He still lives out here near Frankfurt. So I don't know if any Blues know anyone around that area, but he sold her the car. So it still had the City badge in the front window. So I thought of all the places to go, I get in a car with a Man City badge. So there you go. Hi Andy, hi Robert Lang, how are you, buddy? Ziffo Ultimo J17. Hi Andy, I'm late. Don't worry about it, mate. Just doing a quick update, quick video today because I'm actually doing. I've got some Skype calls that I've got to do tonight with City fans. So some of them are people who come on the channel and post comments, and so we've had a discussion via email and messages. And tonight I'm just going to have a catch-up chat on Skype with them and see whether they want to come on the channel and things like that. So I get to know them and we can discuss what they want to do and if we can get them on the channel. I've said this before. All you have to do if you want to come on Man City Fan TV is basically send us an email to mcfcfantv@gmail.com. And if you want to come on the channel and we'll record a chat about City, then great. We'll do that. Hi mate, I know this irrelevant, but what do you think of De Ligt going to PSG basically for money, and would you take him? Would I take him? Yes. Is he going to PSG for money? Yes, of course he is. And he'll basically go wherever Raiola tells him to go, if I'm being honest with you. At 19 years of age, Raiola has got to get his fair whack out of the whole deal like he always does. That's why Pep doesn't like him. I think Pep believes that he's more in it all about him and not the players and the players' development. So would I take him? Absolutely. He's got superb potential. But when you're dealing with Raiola, it's not just the fee that is on offer. It's what his take is in it and everything else that goes with it. And basically, we've seen what he does. He tries to move players every 3 years or so. You only have to look now with Pogba. He's going to get another massive payday if Pogba does go, or whether he stays and signs that massive £500,000 a week deal. More, their wage bill must be incredible. So yes, would I take him? Yeah, I would, but not for that money. And I've got a feeling he won't come, and I think it's all about money. Matty, Foden should play 50% of the games next season because Silva is getting on a bit. So what are you basically, Martin, are you turning around and saying that David Silva should only share 50% of the games with Phil Foden? Interesting. Dave Blue, I think, Andy, we should hang on to Foden and trust Pep to manage the development. I'm pretty much with you, mate. I am, and I've said it so many times on this channel. O'Neill, nah. I think he's going to get 18 to 21 games and 30% of those games from the bench. Do you think 18 to 21, what, Premier League games or games in total? Von Hope, Ray's also online. Is he? I'm not interested in the slightest, mate. I've got no idea. And I'm certainly not going to change when I need to be able to do the things just for him. So tough. If people want to go and listen to him, then it's absolutely fine. Gary Deneen, hello, mate. How are you, buddy? Owner Beats thinks I would keep Foden as he's developing really well under Pep. unless we sign a new attacking midfielder. Can you see us? Can you honestly see us getting another attacking midfielder? Because if you look at it at the moment, we've got KDB, we've got Gundogan, we've got Bernardo Silva, we've got Foden, we've got David Silva. They're all vying for like one or two places. If we get Rodri, then Rodri will probably rotate with Fernandinho, which means there's only really two places left in that midfield berth, and who's going to play there? So I do understand why they're asking the question, and I'm not, I'm sure there are some of them asking the question about Foden's development and whether he should go on loan from a genuine question point of view, because you've got to look at it, take a step back and remove sort of your Man City hat and sort of look at it objectively and just ask yourself, how many games is he really going to play next season? But then on the flip side of it, he's learning under the best manager and coach in world football and some of the best players to learn from. So, hi, Roberto Blondie, how are you? Thank you for your positive comments on the podcast. I'm glad you liked it. How's Germany? It's all right. I'm actually in Frankfurt Hahn, so it's about 110 kilometers from Frankfurt's main airport. And it's basically Frankfurt Hahn is like an old American military base that's been converted into a commercial airport. So it's not very big, it's only small, but the whole training centre and everything is all on a campus, and where thousands upon thousands of US military were stationed here, and there's silos and all sorts of things from when they were out there. And where the training centre is, there's all big blocks of apartments that obviously the military personnel used to live in, but now it looks like Chernobyl. It looks like it's just derelict buildings everywhere, and it's a bit creepy because it's right in the countryside near woods, and so but yeah, I mean it's boiling hot. It's really, really hot out here, I must have it. But yeah, great, quirky hotel, but staff are absolutely lovely, and because there's nowhere really round here next to the airport shops or anything, the hotel has got 2 or 3 electric cars, and they basically, if you want to hire one for an hour, it's €3, and they just give you the key and off you go in this electric car to go down to the supermarket. It's brilliant. It's really, really good. Evening all, Iona Beats. Oh, sorry, missed that one there. Forensic should be a regular starter. Forensic should be. When did we buy him? When did we buy Forensic? I've not heard of this guy. Is he good? Is he skillful? Is he English? James Reynolds, we must keep Coden at home. So we've got Forensic and Coden now. Come on. When did we sign these 2 new players? Roberto Blondie, Andy, the podcast was excellent. Rob's a great host, easy to listen, good fun. He's really good, isn't he? And the other guy, I like the other guy as well. He's funny. And a bit of swearing on there, which but that's the way it is. It's just like City fans chatting to each other. So I'm glad everyone seems to be really positive about it. So they're already working on the next podcast, which there's going to be different blues coming on that hopefully they'll be doing in the studio this time, so they can get several guests in rather than just one guest at a time. King Art, Foden and Felix, future creative midfield partnership and future replacements for De Bruyne and Silva. Whoa, let's maybe David Silva, but De Bruyne, let's hope he'll be here for at least another six years or so, 6 years plus. But yeah, can you imagine those two in another 3-4 years? How with their development, where they're going to be? Could be incredible. Gets in perfect timing. Just started my mid-shift now. Break and grab the brew. Sorted. City till I die. Simon and McHale. Good, mate. Thank you. Glad the timing worked for you. Hello, Andy Raw. Oh, I'm not Raw. Cheeky bugger, Blue Heart. How are you anyway, mate? You good? Glad you're well, Gary. Silva's still a world-class player, but I don't think he can play 2 games a week at top level anymore, so he should rotate with Foden. That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. But let's think about it. The good thing is now, if we do get Rodri, which it looks like we are, then that does, at least then if there is any injuries, we've got Fernandinho can come in and really they're going to rotate around those attacking midfield places. Simon McHale, Philly Foden wouldn't go even if they wanted him to stay and do it for free. I bet you. Yeah, I mean, again, we know that he's come out and basically said, after the Jadon Sancho things, and he signed the contract, and he didn't want to go anywhere. That doesn't always mean to say that Pep might think it's the best thing for him and for his development, and he's looking after the kid. But I hope it doesn't happen. I must admit, I hope he stays. Gary Dineen Roll was a good laugh, good Manchester humour. Yeah, it was. It was some funny bits in there, which did make me chuckle when I listened to it. King Ark W, I'd only let him go to a decently attacking Premier League team like Leicester, Wolves or Bournemouth. It's interesting because when I got back to the hotel, I was listening, I just whacked on Talk Sport. And there was a Leicester fan on there who was basically saying that's basically the same thing you've just said. And he said you'd have to let him go if he was to go on loan somewhere. You'd have to let him go to somewhere with a team of attacking a 10. And he said Leicester would be perfect for Foden. We'd love him here because of Rodgers' development programs that he's got, and this reputation of developing young players. So I agree with you. I think certainly Leicester in particular, under the likes of Rodgers. But let's hope he just signs. Let's hope he signs. Let's hope he just turns around and says no, or basically Pep says he's going absolutely nowhere. And I know Pep did say that, but that was going back, 4 or 5 months ago. But I just thought I'd throw it out there and ask the question, what does everybody else think about it? Because I've got my own personal feelings and thoughts and ideas about it. But I just wanted to see what you guys thought of it. I did see it. It was a brilliant goal. One, it blew a heart. Going around the world like you do, are you really James Bond? No, I'm not James Bond. Definitely not James Bond, mate. Yeah, I've just been decoding some sort of message in an underground silo here at the airport here. No, I'm definitely not James Bond, mate. Simon Hale, Blue Heart, yeah, mate, it was awesome. We've got a real one in Foden, still so young. It was superb. And you see his turn when he nearly lost the ball, and he did a little flick and then turned and twisted and then lost the ball and dived in and won it back. I mean, he's going to be a fantastic player. So exciting. You need to go to Berlin and look at that socket side of things. That bloody creepy. You need to go to Berlin and look at that. Look at the socket side of things, like that bloody creepy. What does that mean? Go to Berlin. I think my lad was going to go there at the end of this month with his mates, but they're going to Barcelona now. But they were looking at Berlin. Berlin is a great city. Brian Gardner, hi Andy. David Silva is still the best midfielder, and Foden can learn from him. Maybe play together, maybe. But Brian, who'd you drop? They play together. That means you're dropping Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, potentially Bernardo Silva. So somebody's going to miss out on there. Forensic failed his medical. Very quick, very good. I like it. Mark Armstrong, hey, saw the podcast Raw was excellent. Reminds me when I lived back in Stockey. Good idea. Thanks, mate. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Section 20. Yeah, I've managed to catch a live MCT. Hey, Andy and Sky Blues. How are you, mate? Are you well? Yeah, it's a little bit later than usual, but I can only do it when I get back to my hotel. I can't really do it any other time. This certainly until I get home on Friday night. It's absolutely ridiculous. There are people out there who generally think Klopp is a better manager than... Who are they? They can only be Liverpool fans. Stockport Iniesta's goal was a peach. It was an absolute cracker. To be fair, Leicester would be scary to play against with Vardy up front and Maddison and Foden playing behind him, feeding him through. Maybe we shouldn't loan him there. Well, I'm sure we'd have it into the contract that he couldn't play against Man City, and I'm sure he wouldn't want to necessarily play against us if he ever did go on loan somewhere. Like I said, I honestly don't think he'll go anywhere. I think he'll stay. I'm just wanted to put it out there because it's been discussed all day, and I was thinking I don't want him to go anywhere. I want him to stay and learn from the best and develop and everything else. But then it started getting me thinking, and I was listening independently to these other fans sort of saying he'd be great here, and the Leicester one in particular. I thought I could see it, and I started thinking, how many games is he really in theory, is he going to play next season? I was thinking, where is he going to play? How is he going to play? I know, yeah, we can say get a load of cup games and things like that, and that's great. But I just thought I'd throw it out there and ask Blues what they thought and what were their thoughts and ideas on it. Mr. TA, Phil Foden needs to embellish himself in the team. Forget Felix. Well, he's certainly shown the potential. All right, maybe Felix has scored 20 goals and things like that, but in one season. But certainly, you look at Felix and you look at Foden, and they look very similar players in the type of trickery and energy and things like that they've got. But because he's a mank, I'd keep Foden. If it was a choice, I'd keep Foden every day of the week, and I wouldn't spend a penny on Felix, if I'm being honest. But that is only if we were going to get rid. Blue Heart Section 20, Foden's goal was unbelievably good. His whole movement to create the goal was excellent. It was superb. Did you watch our Raptors? Mosin? What do you mean by that, buddy? Section 20, the way you went through the French looked like... yeah, just asking because there's a giant spider crawling up the wall behind you. Yeah. Is it? Great podcast with the Bradshaws from yesterday. It was you who wanted it, said it was like listening to the Bradshaws. It was funny. Yeah, the guys are really nice. Sorry, that should be Soviet. I know. So that is a Soviet something or other. I can't remember what that was, Gary. Remind me. Martin, I know this isn't relevant. What is your opinion on Mata getting a 3-year contract at United? You know what? They can do whatever they like. If they want to keep digging holes and things like that, let them do it. I think Mata looks like he's technically very good. There's no getting away from that. Should he be really getting a 3-year contract? Maybe not. At least he's been there for a few years. He is consistent when he plays, and they're missing that real playmaker. Pogba's not a playmaker. So, but at the end of the day, I'm not bothered. If they want to just keep giving people 500 grand a week just to keep them there and outbidding everybody else and upping wages ridiculously, then let them do it. Class goal from a class player who was Blue Heart. David the Red, I saw Pogba up by the Etihad today. Make of that what you will. Today at the Etihad? Just cannot see it ever happening. Samrat, gosh, I'm from India. Congrats on the podcast. Any updates on Douglas Luiz? Still nothing. If there was something that comes out, would definitely be on the channel straight away. But there's nothing still. And soon as we hear anything, we'll get the information out there for you. But there's absolutely nothing. Smells of desperation, mate. In Pep we trust. End of. Absolutely, Michael Cunningham. Formidables. How can you not trust in Pep? And Cheeky. I know Cheeky gets a lot of stick, but I think it's totally unfair, in my own opinion. I think it does a wonderful job, and can't really argue after 198 points in 2 seasons. The players that we've got in, you just can't. And I know people get frustrated in this sort of transfer window period, and it's like, well, we've not signed anybody yet. Oh, we're not. There's so many variables to try and get somebody. It's not like if they came to me and you would just say, yeah, where do I sign, and just tell me how much I'm earning. There's so many other stuff goes in with these players, agents and things. So when it'll be done, it'll be done. But the good thing is, it looks like certainly Rodri. Obviously today we had Walker sign his extension, but we never thought he was going to go anyway. But then there's the rumours still that Cancelo is still on his way to Man City, so we'll wait and see what happens with that. I can't see. Section says I can't see him going on loan the way Pep. Neither can I, mate. I'll be honest with you. I've heard Klopp. I heard Klopp and his teeth are running. It's Grand National. Ruby Tom Blondie. It felt to me like David Silva goal, mate. He just snaked gracefully through. His class is absolutely class. What about Koulibaly? Just read somewhere what we've submitted. We've submitted. You've said, who said that we've actually submitted a bid? Now there's all these rumours flying around of a €95 million bid, but but I've not read anywhere that we've submitted a bid. And I very much doubt that. And I'm sure there'll be lots of sources claim and things like that, rather than the fact that, let's face it, it only really comes out. I mean, the rumours were with Rodri and everyone else, we've submitted a bid. And we were talking about this 3-4 weeks ago, but nothing's happened. And we're only now just getting to the business end of the Rodri deal, and possibly the Cancelo deal if it goes ahead. But Koulibaly, not for no way. If let's face it, could get an English centre-back in Maguire, whether you like him or not. I mean, not for me, but for around about 80 million quid. Can't see City paying 95 million euros for Koulibaly. I just can't see it. I can't see it whatsoever. But you never know. It'll happen. Whatever happens will happen, and that's it. We just we wait and see. Sorry, Ray Barlow, how are you, mate? No, you're not too late, mate. I don't know how long we've been going. 26 minutes. We were just really putting it out there, Ray, about the fact that there's been lots of discussions and debates today, and people, pundits and whoever, sort of claiming that, do you think really, honestly, that Phil Foden should go on loan? And it got me thinking about it today, even though I personally think he should stay. So we were just discussing the Phil Foden thing. What else? Will Watkinson music. If we send him out on loan, we could have Sancho 2.0 because he might get distracted. I'd be surprised. He doesn't seem like that type of kid, but you never know. You just never know. I'm starting to wonder if he'd be able to play as a false nine up front like Bernardo is drifting back a little with Sterling and Sane cutting in. I feel he might be immense there, quite possibly. I think he's got the talent to play anywhere in an attacking role, if I'm being honest with you. Let's face it, the kid's 19 years of age. I mean, he's a baby. He's an absolute baby still. So, imagine another 2-3 years of tutelage under Pep. He could be any. I mean, we could quite easily put it this way. We could be quite easily be sat here in 3-4 years' time and thinking, this kid is better than Gaza. This kid is gonna be better than Gaza at the time when Gaza was young. And for those of you who only sort of think about Gaza how he is now, Gaza in his heyday was an absolutely phenomenal player, phenomenal talent. That injury just ruined his career, but on his day, he was incredible. And Foden could be that and more in another few years' time. So it's so exciting to think of where his development could go. But on the other hand, we've seen players that have hit a little bit of a peak at younger periods and then not really pushed on. So he still needs to just keep working hard and just listening to what Pep says, taking it in. And by all accounts, Pep absolutely adores him and thinks he's going to go on to be, world class. So that's got to be exciting times, and being a Manc as well. It's great stuff. What's going to happen to Zinchenko and Mendy if Angelino comes back? I think it'll be a rotational thing again. Let's face it, if Mendy gets fit and Angelino comes in, are we buying Angelino to play him? Are we buying Angelino to sell him on at a greater price? Who knows? But if Zinchenko's still around the squad, then that's another midfielder that we've got to try and keep happy. But he's still flexible enough to play as a left back. And you would have to imagine that if Angelino is coming in with Mendy and Zinchenko is there, then you can only see really, I'd be surprised, Delph gone. But we've not heard really much about that. Leonard London, how are you, mate? NBA champion, Mohsin. I don't watch, I must admit, I don't watch. I used to watch NBA in the old days, when it used to be on Channel 4 and things like that. I don't have any, I struggle to watch football, never watch any of the sports. I hardly get the time to watch cricket or F1 or anything these days. So I don't get, the Raptors, the Raptors are the Canadian team, aren't they? They're the only Canadian team in the NBA. Is that correct? Have I got that wrong? And they won it this year, which is unusual. And what would be quite interesting is normally the NBA champions get invited to the White House? Will they get an invite to the White House, or will they just do their own thing in their own country? Hi everyone, says Leonard. Ashkith, our podcast was good. Thank you, mate. Foden deserves playing time. Does he? Well, I'll ask you the question, Osman, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm only doing this to play devil's advocate. Does he deserve playing time? And if so, over who and why? That's my question to you. So, like I said, I'll play devil's advocate, and I'll come back to you and said, you just made a comment there, perfectly fine, that he deserves playing time. So whose place is he going to take, and why don't they deserve that place? And that's what you've got to sometimes, as a City fan, look at it from a different angle. You know, we all want Foden to do well. We're desperate for him to do well, and we all think he will do well. But whose place is he going to take, and how often is he going to take that? I thought Foden looked like ZC. Zinedine Zidane. What was that in relation to, Blue Heart? What are you talking about there? Cypher Ultimo's J17, a Foden and De Bruyne partnership would be sublime in my opinion. I would love them to play together. Okay, so if you put Foden and De Bruyne in there, I'm taking it that you're saying ahead of Rodri, or rotational Rodri and Fernandinho. So who plays in the other positions? So who's getting dropped? A bit late, don't worry, Paul Standall. Such a shame with Douglas Luiz. He's actually really good. He's just not been given a break. Yeah, not a lot you can do about it. You know, you've got to look at it and think, they must have known when they signed him. They must have known there was going to be issues with work permits and things like that. And maybe him going away and things like that has been a good thing. I don't know. We've just been talking about Foden, and the title of the thing today was, should Foden go on loan? Because after last night's performance for England, the goal, there's been lots of discussions today by journalists and pundits and fans alike of other teams saying that, you know, many of them, not all, but many of them basically saying that he's not going to get game time, and he really needs to, while he's in this rich vein of development, he needs to continue that development and go on loan somewhere for next season. And people were talking about Leicester being a good fit with Brendan Rodgers, and I'm just asking you guys the question: what are your honest opinions on whether you think he should stay, and or whether he should go on loan? And most people, I think, would agree that they all want him to stay. But my question is, playing devil's advocate, for who? Who is he going to replace, and how many games do you honestly believe he'll get next season? It's just a simple question. Where do you think Klopp will finish in the Grand National next season? Well, anywhere, mate, because whatever I back in the Grand National, I never win anything. I'm normally still running. Hi, sir, Indian Soccer News. How are you, buddy? I've not heard from you for a while. Roberto Blondie. Well, he showed he's got legs. Second place. Very good section. Second place. Ray Barlow. Ray was better than I expected. Raw was better than expected. I'm funny at times, but swearing for swearing's sake. Only my. Yeah, it is. That's what, that's out of my hands. That's the way. I'll be really honest with you, Ray. I don't think there was any intention of swearing for swearing's sake. I've been around and spoke to those guys. That's how they talk. So I don't think they were trying to swear for the sake of it. That is how they talk. So it is what it is, and I'm certainly not going to. I'm not going to sanitize them and say, look, cut back on this and don't say that, and because then it won't be natural, and that's definitely not what we want it to be. But that's why we put the warnings up there. But I can definitely assure you, there's not, the swearing that's in there is not swearing for anything other than that's how they talk to each other. Because I've heard them, and I've met them. So. Andy, just want to let you know, I'm reading Pep Guardiola book. The only way to win it's a cracking read. It is. I've got it, and I think I've nearly finished it if I remember rightly. It's a very, very good read. To be honest, I don't think signings will be announced until kit changes. What's the point in having new flash signings holding up next year? Agree. Well, this is the thing, and this is what I think I said on a video last week. I think it will be waiting until they make this announcement about the kit, or they'll make the kit announcement soon, knowing that these players are lined up ready to come in. So I'm sort of with you on that one. Talked yesterday of a lad called Oscar Bob. Yeah, what a great name that is, isn't it? He's smaller. He's Felix. Yeah, yeah. There was his 16-year-old. He couldn't. Well, if I remember right, I can't remember. I read something about it yesterday afternoon, and he was he couldn't get a work permit, or he couldn't do something or other to try and sign him, and went back to, is he in Scandinavia or somewhere like that? But I just was more interested in his name. What a brilliant name, Oscar Bob. Foden will get plenty of game time next season. He's going to be a star. Same question back to you, Ray Barlow. For who? Who's he going to get plenty of game time for? Who does he replace? Scholes has put a bet on Phil. Yeah, see, then ironic. At all those bets he puts on, he gets an £8,000 fine. Is that Norwegian kid? Yeah, that's a Norwegian kid. The Oscar Bob. What a brilliant name. Absolutely brilliant. Caffrey MCFC. Foden should 100% stay. Learning off David Silva, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne getting coached off Pep. He'll be unreal if he goes to someone like Huddersfield. What's he going to learn? Exactly. And I certainly, the points I made earlier, if I don't know if you were listening earlier, we were talking about a fan of Leicester came when the discussion was up about which teams would he really be able to go on loan, and they were like really excited, saying if he could come here, he'd learn. The development will continue under Rodgers, but I'd still like him to stay, and I think he will stay, if I'm being honest with you. I think he's a Viking. Yeah, I read he was only 15 or 16. I think he's 16. I think there was some interest with him at 14 years of age, if I remember rightly. I can't remember the full article. And now he's 6. I think he's 16 now. Hey, bud, Rick Davis, how are you, mate? Yeah, he's a youngster, one for the future. Yeah. Yes, over David Silva. So is that it? Are you throwing David Silva under the bus now? Is he gone? Are you getting rid of him? And would you, all right, you're Pep Guardiola. Would you now say to David Silva, you drop, mate? Sorry, that's it. And play Phil Foden instead of David Silva? Would you? Let's face it, David Silva, and I've said this on numerous videos, David Silva is probably the one player that currently Pep Guardiola 100% trusts in his systems. He's able to slow the game down and speed it up at will. And that takes experience and knowledge. Angelino coming in straight out on loan to secure the back positions in case Mandy flops. Possibly. And a good question by somebody else. Well, what's going to happen to Zinchenko? I don't think Foden deserves playing time because he's not better as of yet than what we already have. However, he'll receive the best inspiration and guidance until he's ready. I'm absolutely with you on that one, Roberton Blondie. It's spot on for me. And that's why I'm saying it's easy for us as City fans to say, oh, yeah, he should be in the team. Well, ask yourself, for who? Who is getting dropped? And if you honestly think David Silva should be dropped, fine. That's an opinion. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I'm asking you all, the question. Blimey, have you got planes in your garden? I'm at the airport. I'm at the airport. That's why you probably can hear. I'm at Frankfurt Hahn Airport, which is just over there. It's an old US military base. Sorry, some of my comments and conversation. Oh, right, okay, no problem. Gary Dineen, I think what no one's taking into consideration is Pep Guardiola has a plan for Foden, like Pep had for Messi when he's developing. Yeah, I agree with that, and I think he's already turned around. I think I'm just trying to put it out there. I'm just wanting to know, rather than me just have my opinion. I thought, well, I wonder what everyone else thinks. What do they think? Do they think he really will get a load of game time? I'm not talking about will he get game time. Of course he'll get game time because he'll be involved in all the cup competitions. But how many Premier Leagues will he really start? Is he going to be most of the season on the bench and coming on and changing games or doing whatever? And is he really going to get many more games than what he got this season? Or is it just purely about his development for another year under Pep while he's here? Foden should learn from the best, and that rules out everyone by City. Couldn't disagree with that, Leonard. After Super City, that's my second team. Going to White House to see Trumpet would be interesting. Yeah, it would be. Abdallah, play him over David Silva. So you think that David Silva, that's it. David Silva is finished, gone, done, dusted, shouldn't play a game for City. And it should be Foden in the midfield. Interesting. Can see Pep holding Foden back another year or two to help him develop further privately, keeping the hype down a bit. Then take the chains off and let Foden just run absolute riot and pick up a Ballon d'Ors. Good point. I mean, really good point. And none of us know. Unless Pep comes out and says, these are my plans for Foden. None of us know. We're all speculating. But as fans, we all want to know. We all want to talk about it and wonder what's going to happen. Pep Guardiola has already said several times there is no chance we're loaning out Phil Foden. Yeah, he said it. I said earlier on. He said, I think 4 months ago. He said we're not going to loan him out. Do you think Foden can benefit from a loan move? Do I? No, I want him to stay. If I'm being honest, I've said it before in the video, this live stream. I said, why would you go anywhere else when you can learn from the best manager in world football and around some of the best players in world football? I'm sure he'll stay. We are like you two are. He's David Silva-esque and should be happy to understudy him. We know David doesn't have that much longer before he goes back to Las Palmas. Then Foden will get his team. That's what I personally think will be the career path. I think it'll be another year of rotation and give him a bit more game time, a bit more responsibility. And I think after next season, when David leaves Man City, it'd be the perfect time then for Foden to take the mantle. He'd be 20 years of age, going into sort of his next year being 21. Be the perfect time. Nothing more on Angelino other than the fact that by all accounts it's nearly done and dusted, and but other than that, I've not read anything yet so far since I've been on here to say that it's done. Here you go, and an announcement has been made. Not unless I've not seen anything on my phone or anything like that. I'm good, Kevin Mole. How are you? Hi, Niall Hill. Are you good, buddy? Is Cancelo any close to signing? Good news about Walker contract, says Shedders One. Speculation is ramping up even more and more about it. Basically saying that City are going to have this £102 million sort of deal to sign Rodri and Cancelo. So we'll wait and see. I think plenty of news outlets are already posting pictures of his girlfriend and things like that, so that should be interesting. Ray Barlow Chowdhury played really well on 100% off. Yeah, I didn't see all that. I must admit, I didn't see the game because I'm over here, but I think we discussed it on our video when we played Leicester. I thought Hamza Chowdhury was a really, really good, excuse me, a really good talent, a very, very good talent. I think he's a great player. I've seen Foden's goal, but I haven't seen at all the turn and everything, but I haven't seen the tackle. By all accounts, it was pretty horrendous and he deserved the red card. So the kid will learn. These things happen when they're young. Hopefully they learn from it, but he looks a very, very talented kid. I thought he was one of the best players when we beat Leicester 1-0 with Kompany's goal. I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch. Never mind sort of for Leicester. I thought he was excellent that day, that night. Rory's the way the fans genuinely talk. Well, it is. I mean, I understand some people might think it's all put on and things. It's not. I promise you. And I am certainly not going to go back to them and sort of say, look, can you tone it down a bit? Can you do this? Because if you're not natural then, and the idea is this is just like a natural chat between City fans. I'll have a new bag full ready for the next show. Are you coming on? Are you coming on? Time for Philip Foden. You think so, Joseph? Well, maybe another 12 months, but certainly he's a very exciting player. Hope you're well, Andy Sean. I'm very good, mate. How are you, buddy? Hayden McAvey says Felix News fake Rodri and Cancelo in. Well, mentioned that before about the Atletico rumours about his sign for them and What you think Rodri and Cancelo looks like? And I certainly think Rodri definitely is coming. I've always said I think he'll be our first signing. And it's looking like Cancelo is actually getting a little bit closer as well. I've been in Frankfurt, Andy, beautiful city. Yeah, I'm actually not in Frankfurt. I'm in Frankfurt Hahn, which is about 110 kilometres away from Frankfurt Airport. So I'm at this old American airbase here, which is interesting. But I've been to a few places like this. And for those who live in Germany and been in Germany before, you know what it's like when you go into the German countrysides and it's big forests and things like that. That's what it's like here. And the airbase is huge, but it's right in the middle of these big forests. So Pep will definitely rotate players plus injuries and suspension. He'll definitely get more than this season. Alone will be a really step back unless it was Barca. can't see that, can you, Ray? If I'm being honest. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I think he should stay. I really do. I'm just be interested. Like I said, I'm just interested what people think about how much game time he's going to get. Pep will play Foden more often against the bottom half team in cup competitions. Let's hope so. How serious are the cooler? But I can't see that happening, Joseph. I mentioned it earlier in this live vlog. I think it's garbage, if I'm being honest with you. I can't see anything in it whatsoever. Mantis Rudocus. Hi, Phil Foden will replace David Silva bit by bit. I'm with you on that one, mate. What do you think about Walker's deal, mate? As a neutral, I think it's strange. Another 5 years, as he'll be 34. I think it'll be pace, will be put. I must admit, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, I said, you know, we've got to think about it. If he does sign this extension, when the rumours first came up about it, about 10 days ago, I must admit, I'm a little bit... But I don't think it's to do with the fact of how old he'll be when the contract finishes. I think it's more along contractual wise to increase his contract, his length of contract. And it wouldn't surprise me if Walker maybe has another season and then possibly City sell him when he's still got them 4 years on a contract, so we can get a bigger price for him. That's, if I'm being honest, maybe I'm totally wrong, but I've got a feeling that's the reason for the extended contract. Give him another year and then maybe move him on for one last big payday somewhere. And with the likes, if we do get Cancelo or Bolton comes back as well, we've got younger, fresher legs in there, because Pep, look at when Pep came in that first year. You know, we had the likes of Sanya, Zabaleta and those players, and Clichy, and no legs, just no legs in the team whatsoever. And he gave it a season, but straight away they were the first ones out. So I'd be surprised if he was anywhere near the team at sort of 32, 33, if I'm being honest with you. So that's just my opinion. Berto Lee, hello. I'm so happy with Angelino coming back to City. It means so much for the academy. It will do. And I think a lot of Blues were really, really excited with him, about him when we saw glimpses of him. Very, very exciting player. We know that. Very attack-minded, got a brilliant left foot. But yeah, it just wasn't the right time for him. And, you know, maybe this is the way forward. Send them out for 2-3 years. Never mind just the seasons. Send these sort of kids rather than having them hanging around an academy. They're not really learning a great deal there, playing EDS football. Send them out for 2-3 years. And then with a cheap buyback clause in there. Sell them for relatively nothing. But put a buyback clause in there to say, okay, we're selling him for 5 million quid, but we'll give 8 million quid. You can have him for 5. He's probably worth 10. But we want to buy back that. We get an 8 million buyout clause. And then if they don't progress, they don't progress. But if it becomes something like an Angelino, we get them back on the cheap. So maybe that's a model that City are looking at doing. Ribto Blondie, Raw is how I talk normally to friends. Yeah. I don't think the rumours are Man City are true. I don't see City paying around 9. Neither do I, mate. Neither do I. The season seems miles away. Can't wait for it. It does. Hi, Serge Demio. How are you? Foden must stay. You're one of the ones with Foden. So am I. I'm just pointing that out if you just knew. on the channel will just arrived. I still think Foden should stay. I'm just asking the question of City fans, what are your thoughts? Maybe have camera for next podcast, like how, you know what, and the idea is the podcast is some of them don't want to be on camera. They just don't want to be on camera. It's that simple. And you can't force people on there. And then if they are on camera, it's not natural and they're uncomfortable. And, you know, not everybody wants to be on a camera. And you look at True Geordie, well, you only have to look at the people who he has on his channel. They're all people who are faces of YouTube and YouTube channels, and are quite happy to go and be all this giddy, blah de blah de blah that he has on there. But not everybody wants to be on camera. It's that simple. So I honestly don't think Rob wants to be on camera. If he don't want to do YouTube stuff, he just wants to do podcasts. And I think many of the hardcore guests that are coming on, I don't think they want to be on camera either. So we're certainly not going to force them. If we end up with me, Rob, and somebody else, and Rob sort of says, yeah, go on, I don't mind, maybe one time or two we might film it. But I'll be honest with you, it is a podcast. That's the idea of it. The idea was to try and move away with these things, away from video, and put it on, you know, Soundcast and iTunes and things like that, which we are. And just as soon as I get some time, we're going to get it on all those platforms, or one or two of the platforms. So I don't think they really want to be on camera, if I'm being honest with you. And you know, the comments were people want to go on something like iTunes and just listen to it, not have to go on YouTube and watch something or have it on in the background through YouTube. Right, got 5 minutes left, and then I've got to go because I've got a few minutes. I've got a few minutes left, and then I've got to go because I've got Skype call with a couple of one or two City fans who come on here who want to get involved with some things. So I've got to go and do a Skype call with them. Let me just see if there's anything else in particular. And if City can tie Pep down, then that is more than enough for me. The rest will follow. I totally agree. I couldn't agree any more than that with that, Leonard. Totally agree. Will Eric Garcia? I think he'll definitely feature in the cup competitions. I think we'll possibly see Eric Garcia starting in the cup competitions. Premier League, I very much doubt it. They might, you know, he might get a sub appearance and come on and things like that. I doubt if we'll see much of him in the Premier League, but certainly I think we'll definitely see him in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, and who knows, maybe on a bench in a Champions League game. World Cup is coming on 2022. You reckon? Be interesting. Why are we quiet about Fernandinho's cover? Could we possibly be convert stones? I don't think we're being quiet, Herons, because it looks like the Rodri is going to be our first signing, mate. So that is cover for Fernandinho. This is just me personally speaking, but I like listening to the podcast while doing some work, and I feel if it was on camera, people won't be themselves. That's my thoughts. That's my personal thoughts on it. Like I said, if they all say, oh, you know, let's do one, I'm more than happy if they want me on or they want other people on it, and they're all absolutely comfortable with doing it. Fine, maybe we'll do the odd one, but I really don't think that they want to be on camera. I think they just like recording it, having a chat. They can, you know, have a cigarette. You know, I'm sure they're having a drink and having a cigarette while they're recording the podcast. I don't think they want to do all that on camera. So I don't think it'll work. Podcast is top, and to keep up the good work. Thanks, Wayne Crompton. Thank God Angelina ticks Brad fit. Keep the Bradshaws faceless, Andy. Thank you, Mark Blue. Well, we will do. Like I said, if they want to do a video one day, I'm up for it. I'm more than happy if they, you know, to go on there, but I just can't. They're not the type of people who want to come on camera, if I'm being honest with you. Where can I watch the pod? It's on the channel, mate. If you go on the channel, there's a playlist there that says Podcast Raw, and you'll see it's on there. It's a video, but it's just a blank screen, but the audio is over the top of it, and you can listen to it, and there is warnings on there that is strong language used throughout. Will Pep sign extension if left? God, will he sign one? I hope so. Who would be his replacement? There's so many people in the pipeline. Arteta, Vieira, who knows? But I think it'd be someone progressive, maybe the guy from Ajax. Foden's market value now, he's all potential. If I'm being honest with you, he's all potential. I would say 50, 60 million, possibly, for that potential. I know people quote Jadon Sancho at 100 million, but he's actually playing for Dortmund pretty regularly. Who knows? I would turn around and say priceless, because I want him to stay and I don't want him to go anywhere. So priceless. I want to hear Cheeseman swear. Trust you, Blue Heart. And there's a link on the channel MCSC to other videos. CH, it must be signing after Rodri. CH is a must, signing after Rodri. CH? Who's CH? Give me a clue. Missed that one. Andy, any news on Rodri? Only that it looks like he's going to be signing. It's very positive, and everything is pointing towards when you get certain journalists writing about it, you'll tend to get the sort of office juniors, that type of people, new to the journalistic world. They're the ones that do all these transfer rumour stuff. But when you get the more serious journals, the ones who turn up at Man City doing the interviews, when you get them start sort of almost intimating it's almost a done deal, then you start thinking, yeah, there's some news come from somewhere. So yeah, I'd be very surprised if we don't sign Rodri in the next, I don't know, the next 3-4 days maybe. Oh, Chris Hughton. Chris Hughton. No, not for City. No chance. The reason why a lot of the Brighton fans were a bit disappointed with him was because of the style of football. They just said it was crap. So I can't see that ever happening. Who do you think's going up to San Girona or NSA Breda? Well, I did the video. I did a live vlog a few days ago. Colin Hendry. I did a live vlog the other day talking about 5 or 6 academy kids and what's going to happen. Go back and have a look at those, because I don't know about Girona, because they're obviously got relegated. So, but they could easily go there. So it make perfect sense, or we just get rid of them. Colin Hendry, brilliant. Well, listen, guys. So we've talked about Rodri, we've looked at Walker's contracts, we've talked about Koulibaly and all of those things, but what are the main thing of the podcast was to talk about Phil Foden and what were your real thoughts on it, and being, like I said, removing that City hat and having to think, well, okay, yeah, of course we want him to stay, but how many games is he really going to play, and does he just rotate and come in and out and probably have very similar number of games that he's had this season for next season? But that's another year under Pep. I don't know. I'm just hoping that he gets more opportunities next season, because the guy is absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, he could be right up there, better than Gaza in his youth, and he was some player. So very exciting times, and you see him perform like that last night for England, and yeah, I mean, how much is he worth? Priceless, absolutely priceless. But anyway, Pochettino plays Guardiola. Well, if you listen to quite a number of people, they seem to think that could potentially be could be a good shout potentially. Thanks for taking the time to vlog, Andy. Enjoy your time in Germany, mate. Thank you very much. Not a problem. I'll be no doubt back tomorrow. Police investigating the death of Emiliano Sala have arrested somebody in Scotland on manslaughter. Ooh. So, is that interesting? Certainly from an aviation point of view, football point of view. Who is it that they've arrested? Is it the agent? Is it Willie Mackay? Is it somebody else? Now we know there's lots of issues with the training and licensing of pilots that fly, the nature of those operations, which is not great. They're not essentially licensed to fly what's called IFR, so instrument flight rules. So being in clouds and things, so you're flying basically off your instruments, and that's going to take a twist if they've arrested somebody, popular name, who they know, and charged him with manslaughter over this. So 64-year-old man from North Yorkshire has been arrested and released while investigation continues. So keep an eye on that one tomorrow until later on and see what that news is. But anyway, guys, listen, I've got to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, if you haven't seen if you haven't listened to the podcast, go and give it a listen. It's a really interesting and funny listen, and most people that have on here who've listened to it have really enjoyed it. So. Love the Raw podcast. Not enough swearing. Trust you, English Mastiff. Cheers, 007. Miss Moneypenny's proud of you, waiting to throw your hat on a handstand. Cheers, mate. See you, Leonard. See you, Andy. Have a good one, and see you, Mad Sky Blues. Listen, I'll be back tomorrow. Don't know what time, but we'll see what happens. And fingers crossed, we might have some more news on transfer rumours. But other than that, have a wonderful evening. And I'll be back tomorrow. Take care, guys, and look after yourselves. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up if you haven't.